The excuse given by the adult child for cutting off the parent is almost always the same. The parent was abusive. The parent was mental. The parent was neglectful. These accusations appear retroactively, often when the adult child is in their late 20s or throughout their 30s. Prior to the accusations, the relationships were reciprocal by both parties. The term mental abuse has no clinical or legal basis. It is not defined in the DSM-5 TR. It is not a category in Child Protective Services reporting. In U.S. law, emotional abuse must be severe, repeated, and cause diagnosable harm, not remembered pain or regret decades later. So I looked at the data. 63.75 million U.S. adults report estrangement from a parent. That comes from Pillamer's 2020 Cornell University study, 25% of 255 million adults. 618,000 substantiated cases of child abuse and neglect existed in the entire country in 2020. That is 0.85% of children. By 2023, the rate dropped to 0.74%, less than 1%. 25% of adults claim the relationship was abusive. Less than 1% of children were ever confirmed to have experienced substantiated abuse. The gap between the accusation and the evidence is not small. It is 63 million to 618,000, and yet the narrative being told and sold is that every cutoff is rooted in abuse. The 1985 to 2004 cohort data makes it sharper. The child population grew by 10 million between 1990 and 2010. During that same period, substantiated abuse rates declined. Abuse was concentrated in the 0 to 3 age window, 15.7 per 1,000 in 2000. After age 3, rates dropped significantly. By ages 16 to 17, the rate was 5.8 per 1,000, a 63% decline. For members of this cohort who experienced no substantiated abuse during ages 0 to 3, secure attachment was established. They aged into lower risk categories. By the time they entered adolescence, the exact window when their brains were most vulnerable to algorithmic conditioning, substantiated abuse rates were already declining. If 25% of this cohort experienced abuse severe enough to justify total family severance, the data would reflect it. The data shows the opposite. Even accounting for population growth, the per capita rate declined. The math does not math. So what is actually driving the severance? Not the family history, not documented abuse, not substantiated neglect. The data eliminates those explanations. What remains is a generation whose brain architecture was physically altered during a specific developmental window by platforms that internal documents now prove knew exactly what they were doing, and who must retroactively manufacture an accusation to justify a severance that was already decided. That is parental discard. Visit the full interactive data walkthrough, 13 facts, everyone verifiable, at parentaldiscard.com/y-now-data.